Adolf Hitler, the architect of genocide. No discussion of ruthless dictators can begin without Adolf Hitler. Rising from the ruins of post-World War I Germany, Hitler promised hope, strength, and revival. Instead, he brought devastation. His ideology of racial supremacy produced the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews, along with Romani people, disabled individuals, political opponents, and others deemed undesirable, were exterminated in death camps. Beyond genocide, Hitler's aggressive expansionist policies triggered World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, leaving more than 70 million dead. His iron grip on propaganda, his ability to rally fanatic devotion, and his ruthless suppression of dissent made him not just a dictator, but a symbol of absolute evil. Joseph Stalin, the man of steel. If Hitler was Europe's nightmare, Joseph Stalin was the Soviet Union's iron fist. After rising to power in the 1920s, Stalin transformed the USSR into a superpower, but at a staggering cost. His forced collectivization of agriculture led to widespread famine, particularly the Holodomor in Ukraine, where millions starved to death. Stalin's paranoia fueled the Great Purge, where perceived enemies were executed or sent to gulags. Harsh labor camps scattered across Siberia. Estimates suggest his rule directly or indirectly caused the deaths of 20 million people. What makes Stalin's ruthlessness particularly chilling is his cold calculation. His purges were systematic, his policies deliberate, and his indifference to suffering absolute. Mao Zedong, revolution devouring its children. Mao Zedong's image still dominates Chinese history, both as a revolutionary who ended centuries of dynastic rule and as the architect of policies that led to catastrophe. His Great Leap Forward, 1958 to 1962, aimed to industrialize China rapidly. Instead, it caused one of the deadliest famines in human history, killing an estimated 30 to 45 million people. The Cultural Revolution, 1966 to 1976, was another chapter of chaos, where Mao encouraged young Red Guards to attack intellectuals, traditions, and anyone suspected of disloyalty. Families were torn apart, ancient heritage was destroyed, and countless people were humiliated, imprisoned, or executed. Mao's charisma and cult of personality made criticism nearly impossible, allowing his destructive vision to run unchecked. Pol Pot, the killing fields of Cambodia. In Cambodia, Pol Pot stands as a reminder of how ideology can annihilate a nation. As leader of the Khmer Rouge, he attempted to create a classless, agrarian society. To achieve this, he emptied cities, abolished currency, and banned religion. Intellectuals, professionals, and anyone associated with the old society were executed. Between 1975 and 1979, nearly 2 million Cambodians, about a quarter of the population, died from executions, starvation, or overwork. The infamous killing fields remain a haunting testament to his reign. Pol Pot's obsession with ideological purity transformed Cambodia into a graveyard. Benito Mussolini, the father of fascism. While Mussolini's Italy never reached the same levels of horror as Nazi Germany, his brand of fascism laid the groundwork for others. Calling himself Il Duce, Mussolini glorified violence, silenced opposition, and pursued imperial ambitions in Africa that resulted in mass killings, particularly in Ethiopia. His alliance with Hitler pulled Italy into World War II, causing devastation at home and abroad. Though eventually overthrown and executed by his own people, Mussolini's ruthless suppression of freedoms and warmongering mark him as one of the 20th century's most notorious dictators. Saddam Hussein, the Butcher of Baghdad. Saddam Hussein ruled Iraq with terror for over 2 decades. His regime was marked by brutal crackdowns on political dissent, widespread torture, and executions. One of the darkest moments of his reign came in 1988, when his forces used chemical weapons against the Kurdish town of Halabja, killing thousands. Saddam also led Iraq into disastrous wars, the long Iran-Iraq War that consumed hundreds of thousands of lives, and the invasion of Kuwait that triggered the Gulf War. His palaces stood as symbols of excess, while ordinary Iraqis suffered sanctions and oppression. His capture and execution in 2006 closed a bloody chapter in Middle Eastern history. Il-Sung and Kim Jong-Il, a dynasty of despotism. In North Korea, dictatorship became a family business. Kim Il-sung established the world's most isolated and militarized state after World War II, enforcing absolute loyalty through propaganda, purges, and labor camps. His cult of personality elevated him to near godlike status. His son, Kim Jong-il, inherited the throne, presiding over famine in the 1990s that killed up to 3 million people. Resources were funneled into the military and nuclear programs, while citizens starved. The Kim dynasty's blend of hereditary rule, secrecy, and relentless repression remains one of the most extreme examples of dictatorship in modern times. Idi Amin, the Ugandan nightmare. Known as the Butcher of Uganda, Idi Amin's reign, 1971 to 1979, was a mix of brutality and bizarre theatrics. He expelled Asians from Uganda, destroying the economy, while his secret police hunted down and killed political opponents. Human rights groups estimate that his regime killed up to 500,000 people. Amin was infamous not only for cruelty, but also for eccentric behavior, proclaiming himself King of Scotland and claiming divine visions. Behind the spectacle was a reign of terror, where disappearances, torture, and executions became daily realities for Ugandans. Franco, Spain's Iron General. After winning the Spanish Civil War with the help of Hitler and Mussolini, Franco ruled Spain as a dictator for nearly 4 decades. His regime suppressed political opposition, executed tens of thousands of Republicans, and imprisoned countless others. Though not as globally destructive as some contemporaries, Franco's repression stifled Spain's freedoms until his death in 1975. His rule exemplifies how dictators can maintain control for decades through censorship, military power, and fear.